A meteorological perfect storm is created when two or more weather systems collide. We are in the middle of a perfect storm. That perfect storm has an impact in terms of both external factors and internal factors. Mark's already talked to you about how Brexit has delayed the progress of the Green Paper. There's been closures of care homes, there's staff shortages, there's fights with local authorities. And internally, there's a huge amount of change in terms of quality initiatives, modernizing and digitizing systems and processes. So this is a period where everybody in the organization has a sense of being overwhelmed, even though these changes are to make life easier for the future. And during these turbulent times, it is the role of the leader to act as a compass. The role of a leader to point the way ahead. I'd like you to think of one person on your team who is mission critical. I want you to think of one person on your team who is an absolute star performer. I want you to imagine that that person, that mission critical star, has left you a message. And that message goes something like this: I'm terribly sorry, but I'm resigning. Just imagine how you're going to feel in approximately half an hour. That knot in the stomach, that feeling of nausea, that cold sweat up the back. You might be wiping perspiration from your brow because this message is going to completely ruin your day. Now ask yourself, honestly, these 4 questions about this person. Question 1, does this person know that you consider them a star? Have you told them? Have they got the recognition they deserve? 2, does that person feel like a star? Not only are they getting the recognition, are they getting the opportunity, are they getting the space, the career progression that they deserve? 3, have you sat down with that person since September of last year, explored their aspirations and the opportunities that might exist for them within the organization over the next 12, 18, or 24 months? And lastly, is this person paid alongside other star performers in the organization? Put your hands up if you can confidently say yes to all those 4 questions. I don't think I can see any hands. And the reality is, in today's world, we're always in danger of losing our stars. And what's important that we get our arms around our star performers, we create some form of stickiness. But change is difficult. Change is complicated. Change can be overwhelming. So let's do a quick change experiment. Could you sit back in your chairs and could you all please fold your arms? Have a look around your table at how your colleagues have chosen to fold their arms. Some have folded their arms with their left arm uppermost, others have folded their arms with their right arm uppermost. Now listen carefully, this is complicated. Could you now change the way you're folding your arms? Now, it would appear some people are finding that more difficult than others. Okay, how does the new way feel? Not good? Not good? How does the new way feel? You hate it, okay? How does the new way feel? Not right? How does it feel? Uncomfortable. Okay, fold your arms any way you like. Now to me, that's the perfect metaphor for change. When you are considering a change, there are options and choices. In this case, either this way or that way. When I asked you to change, some of you were probably thinking, what's the fuss about? But then I said, what does it feel like? It was, don't like it. It's odd, it's uncomfortable. That's what change feels like when you're imposing it on your team. And at the end, I said, fold your arms any way you like. Almost all of you went back to the old ways of doing things. You see, the economist John Maynard Keynes was correct, he says, when it's not finding new ideas that's difficult, it's escaping the old ones. Richard Branson is excited by the prospect that something can be done better. He's created a group of people within Virgin called the Disruptors. And the Disruptors' job is to challenge and question everything that Virgin is doing in order that they can find a better way. I'm going to give you now 4 questions that you might like to take away. These questions are very good at framing debate and discussion about performance. Question 1 is, what are the good things we do that we must keep doing? Question 2, what are the bad things we do that we must stop doing? Question 3, what things do we do only occasionally that we need to do consistently? And lastly, what things don't we do that we should start doing? So this is the good, the bad, the inconsistent, and the things that we need to start doing. Now, looking at those 4 questions, I use them all the time. I use them with leadership teams, with one-on-one executive coaching, but it's to challenge and question to try and improve performance. Looking at those 4 questions, the good, the bad, the inconsistent, and the things you need to start doing, what do you think is the most difficult one to answer? Anybody? It wasn't a rhetorical question. Bad things. Some people, yes, they're in denial about the bad things. What else? The last one. Most people will say the last one because they'll say, we don't know what we don't know. It's the unknown unknown. And like many organizations, I suspect you're missing an opportunity. You're missing an opportunity with new starters to the organization. What do new starters have that you no longer have? The power of first impressions. And I would encourage you, going forwards, to give those 4 questions to every new starter and say to them, in your first 100 days, record what you see. Ron Dennis, the team chief of McLaren, says that every winning formula has a sell-by date. And in many cases, we are looking for some magical, successful formula. I don't know about you, I was very saddened by the demise of Kodak. And the reason for that is that Kodak chronicled all of our lives. Going to big school, graduating from college, getting married, having a christening, all recorded on Kodak film. If we go back to 1976, Kodak manufactured 80% of the world's film. If that's not a winning formula, I don't know what is. But despite that, and despite inventing the digital camera, in February 2012, they went into Chapter 11, insolvency. We did a holiday in the States this summer, gone, and every time I tried to take a picture of my daughter, she would snatch it off me. If it met her quality standard, she would put it onto Instagram. If not, it was immediately deleted. And I tried to explain to her that when I was her age, I would go on holiday with 1 reel of 36 exposure Kodacolor film. And those 36 exposures had to last me for 2 weeks. My daughter couldn't comprehend when I said that when I got back, I had to make a special trip to Boots the chemist. And then I'd have to return a week later. She said, "A week, Dad?" And only then did I find that for 11 of the exposures, I had the lens cap on. It is often held that these brands, these well-known brands on the left hand of each slide, were undone by technology. I don't think that's the case. I think they were undone by complacency. They thought they'd found the winning formula, but they hadn't. And the reality is you need to look at things differently.